Hey, so I'm in the middle of my pole practice and wanted to share, I don't want to call it an epiphany, but something that I remembered because I've always known it, but sometimes it resurfaces and it surprises me, and then it's like, oh yeah, duh, I already knew that. And Piccolo's going to join me. I disturbed his nap. So, my journey with pole has been an interesting one. It's been a fascinating journey to teach me about myself and about life, and I'd like to share that with you. So, when I first started pole, it was about look at this cool thing. I wanted to feel sexually empowered as a female, and not so much like sexual, but like as a sexual being, like beautiful and sexy and powerful. And it did sort of give me that, but what I really found is that I love dancing. And that's something that I had done all my life. I used to freestyle in my living room to percussion around the world on vinyl to my mom and my grandparents or anyone who would watch. And so it's always been a part of my life, even though I'm not a trained dancer, clearly. But so pole allowed me to dance again, and that was exciting. And then it was, hey, I have this background in gymnastics, and I can do some stuff. It's kind of cool. And then I found Chinese pole, and the two worlds started melding together for me. And then I started competing, and well, I started competing before I found Chinese pole, but it was just kind of this natural progression of, ooh, what's this? I like this, and ooh, that's shiny. I like that. And I put it all together and started competing and was like, oh, wow, I can do this and travel and like, cool, have fun. The problem is that once you start competing and you do something, all of a sudden, for me, there was a pressure to, well, now I've done something, now I need to keep doing it. And it took the fun out of doing it as an expression and became like, oh, well, like I need to be better and I need to prove something. And it was this crazy journey. And, eventually it got to the point where I was competing internationally, and the first time it was like, okay, let me just do this for me and have fun, and this is what I want to show the world. And it was amazing. And then I won. Not too long after that. And then all of a sudden the pressure got real and it got serious. And I don't think it was pressure from anyone in particular but myself. But there was pressure regardless. And then eventually I left my job, which was not my original intention. I was just doing pole for fun. And then the pressure of maintaining a level of acrobatics or a level of innovation or creativity was all of a sudden a big deal for me, and there was a lot of pressure. I also had a lot going on in my personal life, and it was a lot of weight to bear for one person to do alone. And I ended up losing my passion for pole. I mean, I still loved it, but it wasn't the same. Now it was a job, and that shifted everything for me. And not that it wasn't fun, but it was different. And now it felt like an obligation rather than an outlet. And that was a big deal. So over the last few years, my training has been a fraction of what it used to be when I was working full-time, ironically enough. And so over the last few years, it's like, what do I do with this? What do I do with pole? What do I do with all these things that I've experienced? And so today, and I've been working on this for months, but today I really got a nice, clear reminder. So many people come to pole and they're in love with it, and then gradually they lose their passion. Maybe that's true for many things that we do. Maybe it's true with any hobby that we go into. But for the people I've met in pole who have been doing it for a while and to get flustered and frustrated at the new greatest trick or all the flexibility things or the strength or the dynamics and the gymnastics, and people are like, I just can't keep up. I would say this. I always loved experimenting with pole. Trying new things, having fun, messing up, learning something, having an epiphany of, oh my God, I almost died, but I almost did something really cool. And the pressure that I put on myself to always perform at a certain level was something that was unnecessary. Because in the end, we do things for the joy of it and for the love of it. And so if you're doing pole and you're doing hard tricks and it's not fun anymore, go back to what makes you happy. And if you want to be flexible, but it's just not happening in your body, go back to what you enjoy and work on your flexibility slowly, and see what happens. If you like to dance and you don't want to trick, then keep dancing. If you want to be weird and funky, be weird and be funky. There are no right or wrong things to do. There are no right or wrong ways to go about something. It's all your personal experience. And as I'm training for this competition and realizing that in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind, but I want to have fun. And so I'm switching it back to having fun. The moves will come, and if they don't, I'll do something else. If I'm not having fun, and if you are not having fun with what you're doing, then why are we doing it? Why are we putting pressure that's unwarranted and unnecessary? Why are we putting struggle where it doesn't need to be? So take a step back. If you want to do something, do it and enjoy it. If it's something that you have to do, that's okay. But if it's something you're supposed to be passionate about and enjoy, find your way back home so that you can enjoy it again. Sometimes you can be acrobatic, sometimes you can be dancey, sometimes you can be weird, sometimes you can be flexy. It's your personal journey, and that's true in pole, and that's true in life. And try not to compare yourself to others, because they are them and you are you, and the world needs you and just you, not to be anyone else, but the gifts that you have, and everybody has them, whether you believe that you do or not. We all have gifts to share, and that's what we need. Whether you're tall or short or super bendy or old or young, old, ha. If your age number is higher than others, I'll say, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy the process. Enjoy showing up and doing something different and being you, being uniquely you. And move and play and explore and create and just connect. Connect to your physical body. Connect to the mental things that you're telling yourself in your practice, before your practice, after your practice. And connect to the emotions that you have while all this is going on. You are a whole package. All of us are. And to have that mind, body, and spiritual or emotional connection, whether you believe in spirituality or not, or emotional connection, if you will, all those things make us whole. And so I would encourage you to kind of get back to that. Or if you've never been there, research it, see what happens, and enjoy the process. It's not supposed to be a chore, even if it is your job or my job. It's still about enjoying what you do, and it's a mental thing. It's a paradigm shift. It's choosing to be happy and then doing what you can to make that happen. Not every day is perfect. That's why they call it a practice, because we show up and we do our best and we do it all over again. It's not called a perfection. There is no such thing, I don't think. But wanted to share that with you, and a real moment of why it is that I do what I do, why it is that I'm going about some new avenues with pole that I'll share with you all, and why I think it's so important to be good to yourself and treat yourself well so that you can be good and kind to others. Not just in pole, but in life. And we can use pole as our practice area, as our metaphor for life. Cheers.